your Buffalo Bills. This will be the 6th time in Sean McDermott's 7 seasons that the Bills will be in the postseason. Of the previous 5 tries, he's only been able to reach the AFC Championship game on 1 occasion. That was losing to the Chiefs back in 2020 as the 2nd seed. Yes, the Bills will face the Steelers in the wild card round. For more reaction, let us head to the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, bring in our NFL reporter, Dave Naylor. He's ripping it up there. So the Bills, Dave, score 21 points, 14 on offense. There's been so much concern about the Bills' offense of late. How would you say that it looks after watching this game and heading into that wild card matchup against Pittsburgh next week?
You know, I thought it was a real reestablish themselves game for the Bills offense. And you can see it in Josh Allen's stat line. Greater than 75% completion percentage, 359 yards. And the Bills didn't run the ball particularly well tonight with a running back, so Josh Allen reached into his back pocket and pulled out a card we used to see all the time with him scampering across the field. He gets 67 yards. They reestablished Stephon Diggs. I mean, this was Diggs over 80 yards for the first time in basically 2 months. And, you know, the Bills had 3 receivers in this game over 80 yards. Kincaid, Khalil Shakir. I mean, Kincaid's a rookie. Shakir's a second-year player. You know, they really spread the ball around with a high efficiency. So, you know, I think it really was. You look at even Josh's 2 interceptions. I mean, one of them he throws is a complete miscommunication with Gabe Davis. Davis goes one way, he throws the ball the other. And the other one is kind of what they call an arm punt. It's 4th down, so if he chucks it up and it's intercepted in the end zone, it's actually better than an incompletion. So, you know, look, it was a game where the Bills needed a bit of everybody. You know, Deontay Hardy, who runs the ball back for the punt return. Dawson Knox, who catches the go-ahead touchdown. Those guys, those are their 2nd touchdowns, respectively, for each of them this year. So, look, I think overall Buffalo has to feel pretty good about its offense based on what we'd seen the last few weeks. But, Jay, I got to be honest, the hero in this game is the Bills' defense. I mean, Miami in the second half, 4 punts and 1 interception. They really took the run game away in the second half. And you just look at the way this Bills defense, and they were down tonight. I mean, Rasul Douglas, starting corner, out of the game. Terrell Dodson, starting linebacker, out of the game, both in the first half. And the second half, they just laid the blanket down. Consider this. In the last 5 weeks, the Bills have faced Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa. Over 12 quarters of football against those 3 quarterbacks, they've given up 2 passing touchdowns.
It's incredible. So, I know you like the defense. What do you think the Bills need to do better against Pittsburgh next week? I'm assuming it's all on offense.
Well, you know, I think there's a few things that jump out of this game they've got to extend. One is the turnovers. The Bills had another 3-turnover game. Now, as you can probably imagine, 3 turnover games on the road do not result in victories very much. The Bills have now done this twice. They did it when they played the Chargers, and they've done it at Miami. This is a high-wire act you do not want to continue. In fact, the Bills have lost 6 games this season, finished at 11-6 to win the AFC East. 5 of those games, they've had multiple turnovers. So that's the first thing they've got to clean up. I think the run game, they want to see more of James Cook like they saw the past 5 or 6 weeks. Today, he was really limited. They weren't getting, there were a lot more of those 2nd and long situations than they had been, the way they established James Cook in recent games. The other one is the red zone. I mean, the Bills drove the length of the field twice in the first half of the game and never came away with any points. Now, technically, there were actually 3 long possessions that they came away with no points. Technically, only one of those was red zone, and the Dolphins are one of the worst red zone defenses in the NFL. So I think, again, being better in the red zone, finishing drives is another. The other one, I think, is getting healthy. And there were 5 Buffalo Bills who went out of this game with injury. Deion Dawkins, their starting left tackle with a lacerated hand, came back in. But I mentioned Dawson, I mentioned Rasul Douglas, Ty Johnson goes out, Gabe Davis goes out of the game as well. So getting healthy would be another thing that would help the Bills next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What a turnaround. Buffalo just 6-6 just over a month ago. They win their last 5 games. They capture their 4th straight AFC East title. Dave Naylor, thanks for this. Have fun at the Hard Rock.